Militia ready?
I was head of Britain's Secret Service. I participated in the Battle of Brandywine and Monmouth. I wrote a journal about the Revolutionary War from the British point of view. During the war, I lived in Benjamin Franklin's house. During the British occupation of Philadelphia, looting it when I left. I negotiated the surrender of West Point with Benedict Arnold. I was hanged as a spy and for helping Arnold on October 2nd, 1780. I that suffer in the defense of my country, I must consider this hour as the most glorious of my life. Remember that I die as becomes a British officer, while the manner of my death must reflect disgrace on your commander.
I was a delegate from Massachusetts who served as the president of the Second Continental Congress from 1775 to 1777. I objected to the taxes imposed by the British and was wanted for arrest because Britain accused me of not paying taxes on a shipment of cargo. My wealth and influence enabled me to aid the fight for independence. I was the first to sign the Declaration of Independence. I wrote my name so very large so that King George III would not have to wear his spectacles to see my name. The British considered Samuel Adams and me to be the most dangerous American revolutionaries. There! His Majesty can now read my name without glasses, and he can double the reward on my head.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Franklin. I was one of the most famous Americans during the Revolution. I became the first Postmaster General. I am the oldest signer of the Declaration of Independence, which I helped write along with 5 other men. Before the war, I was outspoken against taxes Britain had imposed on the colonies. During the war, I go to France many times to ask for the assistance of French troops, ships, and money to help defeat the British. After the Revolutionary War was over, I negotiated the Treaty of Paris in 1783. There never was a good war or a bad peace. Right about... Hi, I'm Nancy Morgan Hart. I fought battles of the Revolution in my Georgia home, as well as spying on the British and capturing English loyalists. Dressed as a man and pretending to be senile, I often entered British camps, gaining information which I passed on to the American troops. One time, 5 Tories came to my home, killed my last turkey, then demanded me to prepare a meal for them. I tricked them by giving them drinks of corn whiskey and started taking their muskets through a hole in the ground. When they discovered my plan, I held them at gunpoint. I sent my daughter to go get my husband and neighbors, who then took away my prisoners. I earned the name War Woman from the local Cherokee tribe.
Hi, my name is Thomas Jefferson. I was the main writer of the Declaration of Independence along with Benjamin Franklin. I was a shy law student when the idea of independence was being considered. I was an advocate of boycotting British goods. I created the American coin system. I started the Library of Congress, the Democratic Party, and the University of Virginia. After the war, I became a minister to France after Benjamin Franklin. I became the 3rd president of the United States of America. As president, I authorized the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the country. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery.
Hi, I'm Lydia Dara. Living in Philadelphia, I became a spy and defied British officers to deliver information to the Continental Army. General Howe lived across the street from my home and used the parlor for meetings. I overheard the British making plans to attack troops the next day at White Marsh, Pennsylvania. The next morning, I requested permission to visit my children living outside the city to go get flour. I crossed the British lines and warned American soldiers about the surprise attack. When the British arrived, the Continental Army was prepared for battle and defeated the Redcoats. consider thee as a public enemy, we regard thee as a private friend. While we detest cause thee fight for, we wish well to thy personal interest and safety. Right about.
Before the American Revolution, I wrote many articles opposing British rule in the colonies. I also wrote a letter to King George that went around the 13 colonies, which led to the boycott of English goods. I helped establish the Sons of Liberty with John Hancock and Paul Revere. I organized the Boston Tea Party to protest taxes imposed by the British Parliament. As a delegate from the colony of Massachusetts, I signed the Declaration of Independence. I wrote many articles in the Boston newspapers to promote the idea of freedom from Great Britain. After the war, I became the governor of Massachusetts. The liberties of our country, the freedom of our Constitution are worth defending against all hazards, and it's our duty to defend them against all attacks.
Hi, my name is John Paul Jones. I was one of America's first grade naval officers. My flagship Bonham Reacher, named after Benjamin Franklin, attacked a British warship, the HMS Erebus, on the North Sea in September 1779. When my ship began to sink and the British demanded my surrender, I shot I have not yet begun to fight. We rammed the Erebus, threw a grenade on board, capturing the British ships and winning the battle. I became one of the founders of the U.S. Navy. Inaudible peace as and always was my first wish. I could take no delight in infusion of human blood, but if this war should continue, I wish to have the most active part in it.
Hi, I'm Molly Pitcher. I enlisted in the Army and went into battle with my husband on a hot June day of 1778. I washed clothes and cared for sick and injured soldiers. During the battle of Monmouth, I helped the soldiers by bringing water to the weary army. The men called me Molly Pitcher and considered me brave and hardworking. When my husband was wounded, I took his cannon and fired round after round at the British. After war, Congress granted me a pension of $40 a year. I put in no claims, either for happiness, for gratification, or even the common comforts of life. Yet surely I had the right to exist. Right about.
Hi, my name is Roger Sherman. During the Revolutionary War, I served in the Continental Congress. I helped write the Declaration of Independence along with Thomas Jefferson. I also played a part in writing the Articles of Confederation in 1777, which was our country's new first constitution. After the war, I signed the United States Constitution.
Hi, my name is General Rochambeau. Bonjour, I was a French military leader who was in charge of all the French forces fighting in the American Revolution. Working closely with George Washington, I assisted in defeating the British leader, General Charles Cornwallis. After that, the Battle of Yorktown, I helped George Washington defeat General Charles Cornwallis. With the combined efforts of General Washington's 8,845 troops and my 7,800 men, we surrounded the British and forced them to surrender. After the war ended, George Washington said to me, "I cannot but acknowledge the infinite obligations that which I am to afford you, the Count de Rochambeau, in assistance which all the French officers afford me."
Hi, my name is Charles Cornwallis. I am the last leader of the British troops during the American Revolutionary War. I captured New York City in 1776 and defeated George Washington at the Battle of Brandywine. I was in charge of the fighting in the southern colonies and defeated many of the colonial forces, and then marched north. While waiting for reinforcements, my troops and I became surrounded in Yorktown, Virginia, and after many days of fighting, I surrendered. The British lost at Yorktown, won the war for the Americans. Against so powerful an attack, we cannot hope to make a very long resistance.
Right about.
of Sons of Liberty, active in the Stamp Act Revolt. I helped write the Declaration of Independence along with Thomas Jefferson and Roger Sherman. I administered the presidential oath when George Washington was elected America's first president. I negotiated the Louisiana Purchase from the French under Thomas Jefferson's presidency. We have lived long, but this is the noblest work of our lives. The United States takes ranks among the first powers of the world.
Hi, my name is Deborah Sampson. As a young woman, I dressed myself up as a soldier named Robert to fight in the Continental Army. I was assigned to scout neutral territory in Manhattan to assess British forces. I was part of a raid on a Tory home in which 15 men were captured. I participated in the siege at Yorktown in digging trenches and stormed a redoubt. I was wounded twice, but no one found out that I was a woman. Finally, a doctor discovered my secret when I became ill and lost consciousness. I was released from the military honorably. After the war, with help from Paul Revere, Congress granted me retirement money for my services. Later, I became a teacher and toured the colonies where I enjoyed retelling my experiences as a soldier. Why can I not fight for my country too?
My name is George Washington. I strongly supported the colony's independence from Great Britain, especially in light of the taxes imposed by King George III. I was a delegate to the First Continental Congress and was appointed Commander-in-Chief in 1775. I came from a good family and worked hard all my life. I fought many battles alongside my troops and even helped to finance the Continental Army and Navy. After the war, I became the first elected President of the United States of America. First in battle, first in peace, first in the hearts of my countrymen. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to dislodge the enemy than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. Right about.
important quotes.
Oh.
And others.
And others, okay.
You need to get pictures of all the little quotes and put it with this. Okay, guys, wave. Thanks, Mrs. Schisnewski. You guys are amazing.